Hey guys, welcome to the channel. If you were here for the last video, we got my E-Ray, which is an all-wheel drive Corvette, on the two-wheel drive dyno and had successfully dynoed it. Then we ran out of time because, well, we're busy and just didn't get to film more content. But today we're going to be tuning it, and I got a special thing. We're going to start the modding process with testing out one of those drop-in air filters. Next up, we're waiting on Cooks for this. We had to get a custom set of headers made because the E-Ray actually has slightly different headers than the base model. So because of that, that's why some of the content didn't come up first. And you know, I'm doing the progression series on this, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. That way you get to see it all the way through and see some of the cool intricacies. Before we get to it, let's answer those questions from last week. Okay guys, it is that time of the video again. We're gonna answer questions from the previous videos, but before we do that, I know some of you are probably still wondering what's going on with the CT-V Blackwing. That's coming up shortly. I don't know if it's gonna be next week's video or the week after, but it's coming to an end. The end is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be crazy. And it plays off of this one comment in here that it was like, Andrew, I think that this is a rap video. I actually don't even have it on my list. But at 17:11, it looks like a rap video, and you know, blah blah blah. We got something really special, special montage coming up for that one. It's gonna be stupid. I hope you guys love it. As for the questions that we have, bought a 2023 ZL1. What's your opinion on a cold air intake or not? If so, which one? With no tuning needed. Thanks for entertaining. Rotofab, I call it the little gulp, but it's just the Rotofab like intake for it. There's a big gulp that you will need tuning. The Rotofab by itself, the little gulp, the normal gulp, I don't know. The gulp requires no tuning. It'll run close enough that it won't give you any issues or report the same. It'll give you another 15 to 20 rear wheel horsepower in our testing, our legitimate testing. Next question, Andrew, could you run a wire to switch it off with the electric motors inside the car? If you remember in the last video, we have the switch to turn the E-Ray into rear wheel drive. It's really cool. That's what we're using in this video. And we probably could do something like that, but we're just not going to. Some people were asking if we could do do it like to do burnouts. You can actually do a burnout anyway with it. Just like holding the paddles and then dropping it. We'll do a rear wheel drive burnout without using the front motor. It's kind of cool. I enjoy the journey also. I bought all the stuff for my 18 Z06 from CSP, except having called doing an export on my supercharger. Thank you for the great prices and service. This is that shameless plug. Go to cspracing.com. We do have great prices, especially for exclusive deals on the Camaro headers. You definitely want to check those out, but we have so much more. 1.5 million products on the website with over 400,000 in stock on a regular basis. Go there. We got great prices, great availability, and you know, it really helps me out. It helps the team out here. It keeps us going. So thank you very much. And finally, for the comment of the week, maybe Tesla will fix it before 2025. You know what? This is only the comment of the week because it is clearly a defect that window broke, and they just fixed it today, but they did not cover it under warranty. So, fuck you, Tesla. I still love you, but fuck you. Back to the video.
So, coming from a few base model Stingrays to the E-Ray, what tuning differences have you seen so far looking at the tunes?
Almost nothing. It's got auto stop start, and everything else appears to be the same. Apparently when you disable auto stop start, it disables a lot of stuff, including stealth mode. So it seems to be a master enable for far greater than auto stop start. You can't just tune it out, apparently.
And then adding to that, can you see anything in the tune concerning the front electric components?
No, that's a separate module. It looks like we don't have access to that, but the cool thing is we really don't need access to that. Being able to have this as two separate drivetrains just allows this to give the full Monty when it needs to, and that, you know, just being tuned independently of it. Seems like they talk together to some degree, but not entirely, and that's perfectly fine. So, thanks to HP Tuners, again, making this all possible. I've added 2 degrees of timing, taken a couple of the protection features out of the equation here, and we're gonna see if we can make some more power. you guys remember from the last video, our baseline was 439 rear-wheel horsepower as opposed to the 577 all-wheel horsepower. So the goal is to beat that. I like to see the sky. Okay. So every flash that I make, it's going to re-enable ABS and then it's going to freak out. So I have to get to like 12 miles per hour and kind of hang out here until the ABS sensor fails. Then I'm free to move about the cabin. And the way that we test this out is if it goes into 4th gear, yes, we're good to go. Let her roll!
Did you do anything?
Did you do anything?
No.
That sucks.
Made 438 rear-wheel horsepower.
So it is a different day than when we got our baseline. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reflash the factory tune to it, just because maybe on the off chance, just the different days, different weather conditions, blah, 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 that thing. Since we have the ability to do it same day, I'm going to flash the factory tune back on this right now, and then we'll compare. Okay, I've set her back onto the factory tune, which hopefully is not as good as the tune that I just made, because otherwise it just means that their factory did such a good job that there's nothing you can really do from just the tune. Okay, back to my tune. See if anything changes with just 2 degrees of timing in it and a slight fuel modification.
Horsepower.
Okay, so tuning, you might gain like 2 horsepower. Ah, that's horrible. I don't know that it's worth the risk for 2 horsepower over factory. So, well, let's test this filter. Okay, so step 1 is we got to get this stuff out of the trunk so we can get to the airbox, which is through here. Oh, look. It's Grandmama's invisibility cloak. Huh, forgot I had this one too. This is actually funny. I won't throw that. Alright. Wow. You can tell I just dynoed it because it's hot and balls back here.
Gonna scratch the paint.
And one thing I really like about the E-Ray, which I thought I wasn't gonna like, is that the wing looks good and you can actually get over it. I really liked the high wing on my previous models, but I really dig being able to be into the trunk easily and not like, you know, screw everything up. So just 6 of these 8mm bolts here. 1 and number 6. that's a slightly different design. They're pretty hot now. See what it looks like side by side. So like any job, we need to verify that the contents are actually here. We're going to be installing this AFE power filter here and testing if there's any gains. And it does appear to be here. It's a little different than I expected. The factory filter actually, I believe, is sealed on the one side, whereas this is more like a carburetor. Look at that. Side by side, it looks like the AFE is a little bit taller, probably because it's got to reach the actual lid. It does not appear that this is does not appear like this gets installed any directional way. It looks like it's the same on both sides, so I'm gonna plop her in and see what happens. Kind of go snug around that. And now, fun, put this back in.
So I know some people are going to be like, oh, all I did was install an air filter. But why are we just doing it?
To test. Is it worth it? Is it not? The only way that we're going to know for sure, because I don't trust anybody, is to do it myself. Hey, let's find out if it adds anything.
What do they say it adds?
I don't know, I didn't look. I never look at that stuff because most of the time it's a lie. So, find out in our own experience.
I don't know how to say it.
I can see it from here.
Huh.
You know, it's really hot and it sucks, but that's good data to have. So anybody installing that may want to rethink it. What do we lose, 20?
13.
13, wow. For good measure, we'll run it again.
So is this on your tune or the factory tune?
This is on my tune, but
Okay.
it shouldn't matter.
We gained 9 horsepower back.
But it's still below the factory?
Yeah. I wonder if it's like that test we did with headers back in the day where you had to run it X amount of time.
Well, there is a learn factor, and this definitely changes some airflow. In fact, I'm seeing that we're not adding as much as we were prior to this. I don't know, I think the factory outperforms it. Give it one more, but I think that we're going to take this out and keep the factory one in because no gain, maybe a loss.
Or we take all of it out and we put turbos in it.
We got to do other things first. Okay, well, we're going to say that the factory intake filter is better than the AFE. And that's a shame because, you know, people have put this in their cars and expected to gain and probably found themselves with a loss. There's been other things we've tested in the past that have come up as a loss, unexpected loss, and it was always blamed on tuning. But now, we don't have that issue. We know that we can tune these things. And we should be able to get around it, but we're not. That means that it's a mechanical limitation that we're running into. So now, since we decide to test our own, look at this. adds up to a 27% flow increase. It doesn't make any mention of horsepower. This is direct from AFE's site. And yeah, that's what I have here.
What's the airflow chart say?
Airflow chart. This is misleading. But yeah, I mean, to lose power, I can't imagine it having better airflow. A 27% increase. I hate stuff like this. This is why you can't trust anything. This is why I do these tests, in order to know that what we're installing on your car is actually worth installing. And frankly, it seems like the factory AC Delco filter, for whatever reason, maybe the center divider, maybe the fact it's sealed here, maybe these things. Don't know which one, but it performs better than the aftermarket AFE is.
And not sponsored. You paid for that intake.
I did pay for this intake, yeah. I'm not sponsored. You know, this is not a sponsored video. I didn't get anything for free here. I paid for all of it, so this is a real test, and it's a real piece of shit. So guys, today's video is not a video that I actually like to do. I don't actually want to go out and pick fights with companies. Like AFE, I have no problem with AFE. In fact, we use their intakes on a lot of things. It's just this one had a really big misleading advertisement saying 27% more flow, and it's something that, like, I expect to gain. Seeing a loss over the factory intake, it's like 27% more flow than what? And it could be that maybe it does flow better and there's just turbulence, but honestly, if that's the case, if your product's going to perform worse than stock, it's probably not worth selling the product at all. And it's one thing that I hate in this industry is people making bogus claims, people doing misleading advertisements, saying this, that, the other thing. Like, sure, there could be a range. Implying that there's going to be a gain and there's not just really rubs me the wrong way. Now, I am happy to work with testing with many companies. In fact, I do that. You guys don't see a lot of those results because if they're not good and we're working with the company, you know, that's between us and the company, and we give them the honest feedback. But if it's something, you know, beyond that scope, like I'm buying the product personally to test and it comes out pretty disappointing, well, I'm going to let you guys know. So with that said, if anybody has the balls, any company has the balls to send me a product for testing, true testing, real numbers, no bullshit, I will test it. And actually, if you're going to send it to me for free, then I'll bury bad results. But if you start selling it, saying that there's good results, then I'm going to release the video. So if you have the balls to take that risk, or if you want to work with us on product development, because we do have some wonderful people that we work with product development with, yeah, I would be happy to work with you. But be careful. I don't like liars. Okay, I'll see you guys on the next video. We've got some great things coming up. Either next video is going to be an MBRP exhaust install on this, or it's going to be the culmination of our CT-V Blackwing, and then the start of another one. Okay, see you on the next one.